G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel. And if this is the first time you're clicking on the big fella, make sure you subscribe and keep those notifications on. So today we're going to talk about basic sound options for videography, vlogging, etc. And what I mean by that is more about external microphones versus microphones that are actually built into a camera. For instance, the Røde VideoMic Go. It's probably one of the cheapest microphones you can buy on the market, and it is just a very, very good option. That's one of the first things that I bought for my vlogging setup. So what is the Røde VideoMic Go microphone? Well, firstly, it's a directional or shotgun type microphone. What I mean by that is it takes the majority of its sound from directly in front, facing the front of the camera. So unlike other omnidirectional microphones which take sound from multiple areas, pretty much all around the environment, a shotgun mic has one purpose: to shoot in front of the camera, and that's it. The rest of the sound that comes in is not as highly prioritized as what comes in from the front. So if you're speaking behind the microphone, it's not going to be all that audible. Unlike other higher end Røde mics or other external mics in general, this one requires no batteries. Basically, it is powered from the microphone port on the camera, and point and shoot, away you go. No need to set up anything more than that. Now, one thing that confused me a fair bit about the Røde VideoGo mic was the terminology that they used to sell the product. It has something called an integrated Rycote lyre shock mounting. Basically, it's a cradle to hold the microphone so it doesn't make any wobbling or any external noises while it's recording. So what is Rycote? Well, it's a separate company that develops windshields and shock mount supports. And what is a lyre? Well, it's not obviously not the same spelling as someone who doesn't tell the truth. This lyre, L-Y-R-E, is actually not this either. The only real comparison I can make with the traditional lyre from centuries back, which is a musical instrument, and what this lyre is that it is roughly the same shape. It is a cradle or a U type shape, and I'm guessing, it's only a guess, I can't find very much information on it at all, not in this big age of information. I can't find very much information on the lyre terminology that Røde uses. So yeah, I can only guess it's based on the same shape. The U shape. Another bunch of positives that I can rattle off about the Røde VideoGo mic is it's very lightweight. Okay, it is only 73 grams. It has a reinforced ABS construction, so it's pretty tough. The windshield is included. It's a foam windshield, so that's a stock thing. It has a 3.5mm stereo mini jack output, integrated cold shoe mount, so it can basically sit wherever you want, on top of the camera, on a cage, on another mount, an external mount somewhere. It doesn't matter. It's very versatile. And also has a 1-year warranty with a 2-year extended warranty upon registration. Now, some of the specifications on this particular product is it has a frequency range of 100 Hertz to 16 kilohertz, and a max sound pressure level of 120 decibel. So it's pretty right for virtually every situation you can throw at it. So to sum up the pros, it's very versatile, great for vlogging and one-man show video recording. No batteries required. Compared to other camera components, it has almost no weight. Ideal for run and gun video recording, and value for money. Now, most eBay stores that sell this, I'm using eBay as just the example, typically will sell for around $95 Australian to maybe 120. I think the one that I found that sold for the most had a few options with it, so that was selling for 160 Australian. And just a quick note on windshields. The foam windshield isn't the only option you can have for this. If you can see just behind me there, the vlogging setup that I have right now actually has what's called a dead cat, which is the furry windshield. I'm not joking, it's actually called a dead cat. That's what they call it. I think the terminology is terrible, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, the dead cat is usually sold separately. Sometimes it's sold as an option together with the microphone. Depends on who you buy from. Now the cons. Naturally, the specs are a little bit lower than some of the other mics that you'll find in the Røde range. The professional mics in particular. That's kind of where the price point is. Basically, you've got to start somewhere. It's made for people who like to run and gun, bit of vlogging, and yeah, that's where the price point is. And also the sound output quality, it's marginally lower than the higher priced ones. Also, being a shotgun mic, as I said earlier, it can only point from one direction, and it doesn't really have that big of an arc of picking up voices or natural sounds. So it will pick up from anything that is in front of it, but very little of what's behind it or beside it. External microphone off. External microphone on. External microphone off. External microphone on. That's just the nature of a shotgun microphone. And here it is in all its glory, dead cat glory. So stereo mic just unplugs from the back there. All I've done is basically thread it through the little cradle here, that lyre suspension system, and remove the dead cat, and that's all it is. So how this works, it's got a fair bit of support. It can't really roll, it can only move so far back and forward, and it won't actually come into contact with anything which would disturb the microphone's input. So a rather well constructed bit of kit, and very good for a basic. So that's about it for now, guys. Another fairly short and not requiring all that much detail type of upload. Basically, I'll have a few more coming up, which are going to be, well, more or less probably double the size of this one. So lenses and camera and possibly tripod, which yeah will require a fair bit more explaining. But this one and the one before it, pretty short and sweet. So thanks very much for watching again, guys. Like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, this is the big fella. Have a good one, guys.